What's good, y'all? It's your boy C Row Money Money. That's C.R.O. $. Host of the Nerding with Friends podcast. I'm joined tonight with my co-host, Code Name Comment.
Yo, what's up, my fellow blurs, nerds, and peaceful herds? It's your boy Codename Comment No Holmes.
Yes, sir. We're getting back into our Saiyans versus Uchiha series. Right now, they're all tied up 3-3. Let's see if somebody can take the lead tonight. We're going to be talking about the inevitable downfall of these two great warrior races, and to sum it all up, to put it in so little words, both of these groups were killed by racism. Racism is at the root of both of their defeats. And if you look, Dragon Ball Z came out before Naruto. There's a lot of inspiration and Naruto that you can see from Dragon Ball Z. They've even got a Son Goku and a Roshi, orange clothed protagonist would get the blonde hair, and there are a lot of parallels you can draw between the two. But I think this one is interesting not just because of the times we're in today, but how on a larger scale they reflect what I would want to call classic racism and modern racism. Let's start off with the classic racism that you see in King Cold and Frieza. Classic racism is you look at these people and you deem them savages, but you want them to do something for you. You're using them as slave labor. That's essentially what Frieza did to the Saiyans after they defeated the Toughest. He basically told them, you're going to go out and you're going to conquer planets for me. The planet slave trade, I think is what they called it. Might be wrong, but it sounds right. Sounds right.
It's close enough with the way that they went about doing things. And, we're lucky. I don't know if say we're lucky, but we are, to some degree, fortunate that we don't have Friezas in our lives because...
Oh, but we definitely had them.
We definitely had them.
And we only reason we don't have them today, I would say there are laws in place so where
that prevents Friezas from being Friezas.
So let's stick to
you're absolutely right. I can't.
Let's stick to the past and a time where you can go out and you can grab another race and you can tell them, you're
do as thou please.
Right.
There was Friezas. Yeah. Damn. There's multiple Friezas. So I can't say that we didn't go through that. We absolutely went through it time and time again. That's what slavery was.
That's the Broly movie kind of changed things up to where you see King Cold is the one that actually handed over control of the Saiyans to Frieza, and you saw that there's hate, there's learned hatred. He's telling his son, these are your slaves, these are your monkeys. They're gonna do what you want them to do. You're stronger than them. They're afraid of you. That's no different than the Europeans with their guns and their big ships coming in and taking people from their homes.
Well, you could take it even further. From the inception of slavery to moving, slightly forward in what's happening after that. But to take it even further, I think, from what you said about how King Cole passed down not only, the ideology that the Saiyans were less than and should be used, I think in his babying of Frieza and allowing Frieza to do basically whatever he pleased, it went beyond, Frieza believing that these people were less than, but then eventually unnecessary. And I think that shows in a lot of the slave owners to just taking slaves and putting them on plantations, but also then furthering that by, you know, doing things to make them worth less than, not even just, you know, from you think, you know, from slavery. After slavery there was Jim Crow, and then there was, you know, you still have KKK members, people who deem the black man as less than and therefore unnecessary.
Right. And that feeling of unnecessary is what we're going to talk about in the end of the Saiyans, because that's pretty much what Frieza thought. You know, they had served their purpose, and the real reason was because he was afraid of them. He was afraid of this prophecy that foretold of a legendary Super Saiyan, and the Saiyans were growing stronger. They were his best force, and with their Zenkai boost and just their natural battle strength, he was leading to his own demise. And he saw that these super warriors were eventually going to be too powerful for him to control. And we can go from Dragon Ball minus and talk about how, you know, Bardock just had these suspicions that Frieza was up to something. But I think it's important to remember in the original Bardock movie how he was getting these visions of the future, and how confused he was knowing that this is what Frieza wanted. And when he talked to Tora, who was dying in his arms, and he told him that's why, you know, Frieza's men had wanted to eliminate them because they were afraid of their strength, even though they were in line, which is a little scary to think that Bardock, who was one of these stronger Saiyans, you know, originally, you know, working him way up from all these missions he did from low class to one of the strongest ones before the series started, that it still sounded like he would still fall in line with what Frieza wanted to do, even though there was a possibility that he could be stronger than Frieza. Still,
Why do you think that is?
I think it's like that, you know, when it's like that, not theory, but it was a study, and it was like if you know, you put like an elephant and like around in a circle, and you make it think that it can't go past the circle, even though it can, you know, just because that's what he was raised, and you know, that's what he trained to think, that Frieza's the end
It
all
gets
be
to,
all.
almost gets to that point where you feel like it is, you know, what it is, and that's just how life is, you know, it's just going to be, and there's not much you can do about it except for enjoy the peace and freedoms that you have in between being a slave, which
Right,
is bullshit.
right.
It's bullshit.
So I think that makes it even more powerful at the end of the movie when he stood up to Frieza and tried to fight back, and he threw that energy ball, and you know, he was already weakened. He didn't get a chance to heal himself. Who knows what another Zenkai boost could have done for Bardock?
Right.
But it wasn't enough. The entire planet wiped out. The only survivors in the original series, Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz, and also our star Goku, who was shipped away moments before the planet was destroyed, Kal-El.
Kyle, you
You know,
going? You know what? I wonder. Now, based on the time frame, were the two happening around the same time?
what a
That
what?
is,
What?
or the two like Superman and the young Super Saiyan.
Like, were they written at the same time?
Yeah.
Hell no. Superman old as hell. Dragon Ball Z came out in the 80s.
So that's some Superman ass. That's some Superman ass shit. That's
Yeah,
where he got that. Yeah, that's dope.
yeah. Kal-El, Kakarot. There you go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The
And then you
more you
got the young
know.
god out there, Broly and his father Paragus.
Yeah, they were late editions. If you want to count the movies, you got Turles and uh, Bardock. There's this whole other side story where he survived and became the first Super Saiyan, which is, he ran into Frieza's ancestor, beat him, and he foretold that the legendary Super Saiyan exists. Down the years, it came to Frieza, and he actually ended up creating the. He actually
He's
created
weird.
both Super Saiyans if you think about it. If you
Yeah,
watch that Bardock, the second Bardock special, where it shows that Blast sent him back to time, where he became the first Super Saiyan, that happened because of Frieza, and it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then you think Goku,
created exactly what he feared.
yeah, if Raditz, never came to get Goku, this the series of events would have never led. Goku probably would have never went to space, and that's what led to Frieza's demise. And Frieza's extinction of the Saiyans was done out of fear. It was rooted in him being raised to think of other beings as lesser, as something he perpetuated. He reeked of this white supremacy, pure bullshit that you see so much of in the past and on a different level today. The different and the same.
Yeah,
We'll get to that.
it's a lot of the same stuff, just shown in different ways, and you
So,
could have seen so much more of it.
so Conan, we're talking about uh, both downfalls here. I think we're gonna wrap up the Saiyans right now. Just in terms of speaking of their defeat, where do you think that ranks up in and the extinction of races throughout anime series?
Uh, Honestly, I think when we talking like the deaths of great, races in anime, or just the overall treatment, I
Well,
believe.
there's a lot of genocide in anime and anime type stories. The Saiyans and
Right.
Uchiha are big ones. Kurapika's clan
Clan, yep.
and Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, the
Um,
Fonolese clan that's just used as as an army in Magi. You
right.
have
Um,
uh,
I don't consider it an anime, but it's up there. The Airbender and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
you have the Airbenders killed off.
I think the extinction of the Saiyans is definitely a driving force for the franchise.
Oh yeah.
With Goku and Vegeta, and not there not being any, Saiyans around to, with the two that we already have. The power scaling is already the three with Broly. It's
Hmm.
those three, and then a cliff
Yeah.
to anybody else. So
I feel like overall, like without the depth of the Saiyans, like the magnitude of the show isn't the same. Like if there's another planet, like in the thing, like I think about it like this: the Namekians died, yet there's a whole nother planet of Namekians, and we're okay with that. But if there's a whole like a full nother planet of Saiyans, even talking about Sandala in the six, uh, in seeing how their lives were, it still seemed like there were a lot less Saiyans than like, what we think of what like on Earth or something like that. I feel like it changes the whole vibe, like because we know what great things that Saiyans can do if pushed to the limit, and with the Zenkai boost and their ability to just, you know, always overcome, their their limits. It's the depth of the Saiyans is it's like top 3, if not number 1.
In the context of the story, I feel like it was most important and had its most significance in the Frieza arc. Starting with the Saiyan arc, Vegeta arc. All right, Namek. I consider all that the Frieza arc.
Yeah, it really is.
That was the end of the significance as far as it goes with the Saiyans. And also in the Broly movie, I really liked how Goku kind of embraced his Saiyan name for the first time. So, like, if you count up to the Frieza saga, that's where the most significance of the downfall of the Saiyans is. But after that, it's not really a key point that there are just these two Saiyans left, and they don't really talk about the Saiyans as much. You see it, Vegeta talk about his pride as one, but just the Saiyans as a whole and their path, you know, it doesn't come up as much. It's not that significant to the story. It would have been a great way to end things, but we know Dragon Ball Z has gone on for 2 more series and what I guess 3 if you want to count superheroes. And I like the Saiyans. Hopefully we'll revisit their downfall and learn a little bit more about them like we did in the movie, the Broly movie. But changing gears and talking to more modern racism is when you look at the downfall of the Uchiha clan.
For sure.
So in this situation, their King Cold is Tobirama Senju. Now, what makes this starkly different is that to most people, you would think Tobirama is a hero, and you don't want to equate racism to your heroes. But Naruto does a very good job of graying who's good and who's bad. And Tobirama is a perfect example because he is a complete bigot, xenophobe when it comes to the Uchihas. If you remember, we talked about it in our first video, talking about the origins and the war, that the Senju and the Uchiha battled for years. Tobirama killed many a Uchiha in his life, hated them. If it was up to him, he would have killed Madara and probably slaughtered the whole clan.
You're really selling this man like he's a villain. Now the shit he's did is not okay.
Listen, no. You listen. You can't sugarcoat it. You have to be real.
I'm not
sugarcoating
it at all.
Straight up during the Warring States period.
Thank you.
Madara.
If you go tell his story, you got to tell his full story.
This is all starting.
This is coming from a man who like the problem with his level of racism. His level of racism comes from something that he just can't let it go. This is the Confederate flag racism.
This is what he knows. This is learned racism. But his brother is somebody who sees, a chance for peace.
Right. And that's what matters to him. That's what should matter.
Even Madara was somebody who also wanted peace, but his little brother was also a racist. And Izuna, who was racist to the Senju. But the Senju ended up, in my opinion, winning that war. You can call it a draw if you want to, but if your strongest guy beats the other person's strongest guy, I call it a win. So with that being said, Tobirama still has these ideas about the Uchiha. He has these notions toward them. He doesn't trust them. And he saw his brother was making a push to put a Uchiha in power. Hashirama wanted Madara to be the village's first Hokage. That was something he was going to just straight up give to him. But Tobirama decided that it should be up to the people to vote, and the people
Knowing what the people were gonna vote.
and the people voted for Hashirama because not only did he have the Senju who ended up winning the war, so part of you want to assume that they had more people. People know that he was stronger than Madara in order that he beat them. And then there were some Uchiha that also sided with Hashirama, seeing as he's the one that put this piece together. So that alienated Madara, who wasn't wrong. Because if you look, they don't. There wasn't a vote to put anybody else really at the Hokage position. There's always
Correct.
somebody being nominated and having the ability given to them by the
Yeah,
next,
that was the first. That was the first real vote.
the first and the only,
Yeah,
in
true.
my opinion. And if you look at the lineage of Hokage, they all connect back to the Senju in one way, whether it's bloodlines or if it's a student of one of the people who train under the Hokage. There's no Uchiha in there whatsoever.
No, they were the Shia were completely cut out.
So Tobirama has these ideas and he passed them down to his students. The third Hokage, um, damn, what's that? I hate his
Peterson.
name. Yeah, Hiruzen
Peter.
Sarutobi and bitch ass, bitch ass fucking
Hoe ass,
Danzo,
trick
bitch
ass,
ass,
slut
hoe ass
ass.
Danzo. But Danzo and Hiruzen were trained by the second Hokage, the leader of the village. So you assume if you're learning from somebody who has this power that they're right. You know, it's no different than, you know, young Republicans learning from old Republicans, their parents. They don't know better. That's what they're being taught when you know, hire certain teachers. When I was in high school, they said the Civil War was not fought over slavery. It was over state rights. Yes, state rights to own slaves.
And slaves.
It's, it,
Watering down the real shit.
it's a skewed history. And I say that the Uchiha faced a modern day racism because there are more parallels we can draw on today. Yes, there are people like Frieza going out and killing, but
We
now
got way more Donzos.
you can demand justice as opposed to back then when, you know, black people weren't considered even a person, a full person. There are different laws and things have changed enough to where you see more of a systematic oppression because there are laws and regulations set, but the people setting them don't have the best intentions.
Right.
Like Tobirama, who turned the Uchiha into the police force. He thought this would, well, he painted the picture that it would have them be the protectors of the village, when all it really did was start to alienate people. And we've seen once, you know, somebody's given a badge and that power, it can corrupt them. And the Uchiha already are known for, you know, this type of corruption. So it's
Uh,
not it's not hard to see.
I won't, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna put that on them. It not only did creating them as the police, it painted a bad picture on them. Like, because what do we think of the police as someone who overall we feel like, or we have to alienate ourselves from, because the things that we can do around them are subject to the law. But the laws, of course, that are given to other people. So the way we already that they probably view the Uchiha was already a bit on guard, and knowing that the Uchiha were originally, thought of people who would be more willing to destroy the village than protect it, who peace was, at some point affected because of an Uchiha. It's hard for you to create any sense of peace or camaraderie among anyone who's not of your clan if you're now placed in a position that now you're on guard of people who are always going to be on guard of you. So that the amount of, you know, mind that he put into his thick hatred and racism towards a clan, and to hit to you know to him, he was doing the right thing. He felt that, you know, the Uchiha were only necessary if they were protecting the village, but never really asking or wondering, you know, as part of the village, how does the Uchiha feel? You know, does he care about how the Uchiha feels? Probably
and
not.
and not this. This is all long before the actual story takes place. So
Yeah,
these people refer to uh Tobirama as like this mastermind. He's the one that started the academy, and he created all these jutsu, and he was a respected figure.
he was a
And
man about his. He was
if
about implementing institutions.
so when people see him, they respect him, and it also doesn't doesn't hurt that he also had his own token Uchiha, uh, Kagami. Am I saying that? Yeah, Kagami Uchiha. Yeah, he had his own token Uchiha, who instead of having the curse of hatred that most Uchihas had, he'd inherited um, the the will of fire from the Senju, and that really just means he put the village and its people before his own race. And he was on the team with Danzo and Hiruzen. Another key moment that led to the downfall of the Uchiha was what happened on Naruto's birthday, when a mysterious figure uh, took the nine tails from Kushina, Naruto's mom, during the birth, and had the nine tails attack the village. History tells the only way this could be done is if you had a Sharingan. Who had Sharingans? Uchiha. So now people assume one of the Uchiha had the nine tails attack the village. They weren't wrong. But what they didn't know is it was a rogue Uchiha. So now this police force is being pushed to the outskirts of the village, from being in the center where they can do their jobs to this outward area. And this is when the Uchiha started to get the feeling that they should rebel and take back the village.
They're separated, isolated.
And the leaders of the village happened to be Tobirama's two best students. Here's Sarutobi and Danzo
Shimura.
pussy, pussy nigga.
Puss
Danzo
out.
pussy nigga.
Puss.
So Danzo inheriting this hatred, not even I won't even say it's a hatred. This form of racism is something, the best example I can think is the movie Get Out, to where he saw the Uchiha as these perfect beings and wanted the power that comes from their eyes, but he saw them as lesser. It's like, wow, imagine what I could do with your powers. That is how I
Danzo's a
view
sick son of
Donzo.
a bitch, yeah.
That's how I view Donzo. It's a sick way of thinking,
Well,
to think of these people as nothing but their abilities. And that's something, that's the same as you see with, bitches like Laura Ingram and, shut up and dribble. You know what I mean? It's
them
like,
kind of fuck niggas though, they're the kind of people that really don't give a shit about anybody though. For what I learned, you know, Donzo's the kind of nigga that will take out anybody if it means that it'll push him forward in life. You know, Danzo is, you know, it wasn't even just the Uchiha that Danzo's fuck nigga ship, you know, affected. Because Danzo is also the reason that just about every bad thing happened to the village. Danzo is also someone who tried to kill, Hidas and Saratobi, and was lucky enough that Hidas was. I gotta say Hidas was soft and not often, bro. Right there, I would have just. Could you imagine what life would have been like if he would have just taken bro out when he had the chance?
Hiruzen is soft for this key reason. I'm gonna get to that. Let me backtrack. Let's get back on this timeline. A great man by the name of Itachi Uchiha, who worked very closely with the Hokage and Danzo, was also the son of the leader of the Uchiha clan. He was a very idealistic, empathetic person, a pacifist at heart with great skill. And knowing of the clan's coup that they were planning, came to the Hokage and tried to find a peaceful resolution. Danzo, on the other hand, saw this as the perfect opportunity to get rid of some Uchiha. Not just some, damn near all. So, it was Danzo's idea that Itachi, this skilled pacifist, rather put you in a genjutsu than hit you with a ninjutsu, kill his entire clan except his little brother.
It gets worse.
And he did this and offered the counter as being, if a coup does happen and our forces are weakened, another village can come in and we can all die. So Itachi made the executive decision, which was somewhat implanted in him, that he had to kill his people. And that's what he did, sparing only his brother. Also teamed up with another Uchiha who actually released the Nine Tail, we'll later find out with Obito.
Bro, you're not even like really, you cutting him a little slack, because with all of that happening, they had the opportunity for things to go peacefully.
They had plenty of opportunities. Let's go back to,
What to say, Shisui came up with the idea of using the Koto Matsukame to not only just change their whole mindsets where things could be at peace, but because Danzo, being a pussy that he is afraid of any power that he himself did not possess, feared that, okay, in the process of this, maybe he'll change my mind too. Maybe that could have been good. Maybe that could have just changed him from being a fucking hateful ass bitch ass nigga. But no. So he steals his eye, and to me kind of forces Shisui to have to decide to kill himself, because if he gets the other eye, who only knows what this man will do. So it's this level of bitch acidness is just like, he a fuck nigga for all days, but I just gotta let the people know how bad it is. Like, cause yeah, he did that, but not only did he do that, he did that in response to stopping the one thing that really could have brought full on peace, and all because of hatred.
All because of a learned hatred that he continued to perpetuate. He, like Frieza, also met his end by that same race he hated in one of the survivors. Uh, Itachi would make regular visits to the village, letting Danzo know, if anything happens to my brother,
Fuck you up.
not only am I going to fuck you up, I'm ending everything. I am going to tell every other village all y'all secrets. If something happens to my brother, y'all all going down. And that's
Shut this whole
that's on
shit
the
down,
Nine
nigga.
Tails. On Nine
Shut
Tails,
this
bro.
whole operation down, bitch.
On Nine
Try my brother, nigga.
Tails.
Try my brother on your life. I shut this whole shit down, nigga.
So the Uchiha clan definitely have a long lasting effect on the series. A lot revolves around them and their abilities, who's left, um, just the layers that it took for the things that went on to the warring state to trickle down to them, to where in this time of peace, a young you Itachi was 13 years old when he killed his entire village with the help of Obito.
He probably was what, 18?
No, he was a little bit, something like that.
Because Kakashi was what, 4 years? I think about 4 to 5 years older than uh, Itachi, who was 13. So.
I don't know. Old enough.
He wasn't much
Obito.
older.
By that time, Obito had already had enough blood on his hands.
Oh yeah, he was. But
But
still, these is young men.
right, yeah, young men, regardless, killing their entire families. Actually, when Itachi got to his parents, they were at peace, knowing that he would have to carry this burden with him for the rest of his life, and their pain would be quick. They die and it'd be over. A failed plan, pretty much accepting their fate, that because of who they are, they had to die. And I really blame Hiruzen for allowing all this to happen. And I think he also had a little bit of that bias in him. And how could he not? Because it was picked up from his master. It might not have been to the same extent as Danzo, who was a devout follower, who was shocked and hurt that he was not chosen as the next Hokage.
Which is his fault.
Right? Be better, nigga. But
Stop
at the
being a
same
bitch.
time, maybe
He had that fear in him. Like he didn't have the strength to step up.
at the
So
same time, it could have been Tobirama seeing that Danzo had more hatred for Uchiha in him. Well, not even hatred, but he had more of that vile streak in him than Hiruzen. Hiruzen just a lazy bitch to me. Lazy. Anyway, I'll make my fuck Hiruzen video later. But I could do like 3 podcasts on how shitty that nigga is. But yeah, so the downfall of the Uchiha based in hate and envy, downfall of the Saiyans based in hate and fear. Um, I'm going to give the point to the Uchiha just because it's something more relatable. I feel like, it's a little poetic, almost, like a great epic where, one of their own is the one that does it because of just a cycle of taught bigotry. It's it's a real lesson that if you know things don't change, you know this cycle of hatred is going to continue to grow. Let's not end up like the Uchiha clan.
nah, I think we're way less likely to end up like the Uchiha clan. I feel like we have way more Sasuke's in our group that'll snuff out Danzos before that happens again. So
Let's hope. Let's hope we don't got no. You know, I can't. I'm not gonna speak ill of no Uchiha in this video. R.I.P. Uchihas.
pulling out for the Saiyans and Uchihas lost in this video.
So I give my point to the Uchiha. The Uchiha are up 4-3. Dom, are you gonna tie it? Are you gonna tie it, Cole?
You know, I said Saiyans were top 3, but the Uchihas are definitely number 1 on this one. Just from overall, the amount that had to be done, and still the only person who was able to take out an Uchiha was the Uchiha themselves. Like it's like you said, it's poetic, and within that, they still got their revenge. So that's pretty dope too.
Mm. So 5-3, Uchiha are up right now. Uchiha are up.
All the way up.
Next episode, we're going to talk about the survivors and the offspring of those survivors. Interesting, get talk a little Goku, Vegeta, a little Sasuke, Tachi,
Little Gohan, little Goten, some Trunks,
Go
future Trunks if you want to
Obito,
go there.
my dog Goten. It'll be
Man.
a good one, Let's see if the Saiyans can bounce back in that category. But until then, it's been me, your boy, C Row Money Money. That's C.RO $.
Hey, and it's your boy, codename Common No Homes. Y'all have a beautiful evening or morning whenever y'all listening to this. Peace out.
Peace.